Hello, everyone. Welcome to Assessment Bites, a series of short tutorials on various assessment strategies you can use in your classroom to drive learning forward. Today's bite will help us answer this question. How can I shift student attention away from being hyper-focused on grades and toward learning? Today's strategy leverages all three purposes of assessment to drive learning forward, that is, assessment for learning, assessment as learning, and assessment of learning. It's called the two-stage exam. Today's assessment bite is going to be a little different as we welcome some special guests to show us how this works.
I am Marielle Poulin. I'm teaching Chem and Chem AP at Mother Margaret Mary.
All right, my name is Ashley. I am a grade 12 student at Mother Margaret Mary, and I am right now in my Chemistry 30 class.
My name is Gage. I'm in grade 12 at Mother Margaret Mary, and I'm also in the Chem 30 class.
When I first came here, a lot of kids would skip the unit exam day and then they talk to their friends and then they come and write it a couple days later. That was frustrating for me, and I found on social media a few years ago a university prof that he calls two-stage unit exams. So the students do a unit exam like they would regularly, individually, they study for it. I scan their results, I mark their long answer, and then I keep all of their scores on a spreadsheet. And then the second day, the students come back and then they redo their unit exam with a group. And they're allowed to change their multiple choice and numerical.
So we just had our thermochemistry exam. We're just going through our answers, comparing to see what we got right and what we got wrong, and possibly have a better experience to know what we can do better.
This way kind of gives you almost like a second chance to just kind of think over how you did on the exam, or maybe go back through your notes if you had sections on the test where you maybe weren't sure of, or maybe kind of parts where you get stuck. It gives you an opportunity to kind of go over it and redo it. Where in a regular class, if that happens, you kind of just stuck with the mark you get or the result you get.
The benefit I found is students do not miss the unit exam. And if a student has an appointment or a reason that they can't be there for the first stage of the unit exam, they always request to write it early. Because my rule is if you're not here for the individual part, you can't do the group part.
At the moment, we don't know what we got, only for the short answer.
So how is it helpful if you don't necessarily know what the right answer is right now?
Well, this just gives us a chance to see what our friends did and see the method they used, so that we can probably use that method ourselves.
It kind of gives you a chance to maybe a friend knows a topic better than you do, and you're able to collaborate and kind of mix and match maybe where there's gaps in the material, and then it gives everyone a better chance at a better grade.
The other benefit is that it's not just a matter of, oh, I think you're smarter, so I'm just going to change my answer. The students actually rework through the problems together, and then see who's wrong, or they can fix each other's mistakes. I've also watched the students that struggle with the concepts, the student that has a better understanding ends up teaching them. So it serves as a good review, it serves as retrieval for the students. And instead of me just reading through a unit exam and kids just looking to get an extra mark, they're actually looking through the content. And I'm sure every teacher knows the kid that just is looking for the mark. 2 days before the final, what do I need to get on the final so my mark is this? And the mark ends up being a detriment to the learning. They're so focused on the mark that even during assessments, whether they're formative or summative, it just overtakes their cognitive load. So I'm trying to focus more on the learning of the content. So we were about to do a lab, and the student asked me, is this going to be for marks? And I kind of joked with her that was the wrong question to ask. And I said, what would be the difference? What's the difference between whether the lab is for marks or not? And she said, yeah, I don't know. And I said, what would it do to your stress level in conducting the lab? She said it would have elevated it a lot. And then watching her and her group do the lab, they totally bungled it and didn't read procedure correctly and messed it up. And to me, that's more of the learning process, not necessarily the mark.
So what happens if on today's unit exam they're going through
What happens if they change something and it makes their mark worse?
I can probably count on one hand how many times that's happened. I'll count their higher mark. I won't let this process lower. And again, that would only tend to happen to the kids that scored the top marks because they might change a wrong answer. And it's also a sign maybe that my question isn't worded correctly, that there might have been a problem with the question. So even today, some students were discussing a question with me and I can see that the wording was not very clear on the question. So it also allows me to adapt. And, I'm constantly fixing questions, or I toss them or I edit them or for the next one.
We'd like to extend a big special thank you to Marielle Poulin and her students Gage and Ashley for sharing their thoughts and experiences with us today. If you would like to learn more on shifting student focus from grades and toward learning, please visit the Assessment and Reporting SharePoint page and click on Professional Reading to access these and many other articles, podcasts, and videos. That's it for today, everyone. Please connect with your assessment and reporting consultant with your questions. Thanks for watching and have a great day.